Welcome everyone, thank you for tuning in. This is the MSV podcast. Here we talk about crypto. My name is Sabi, I am your host today. Let's start. Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in for another episode of the MSV podcast. Today we will talk about artificial intelligence on and off the blockchain. Please welcome my guest today, Sabin from Humans AI. Hi Sabin, thank you for being here. How are you?
Hello, thank you for having me.
Artificial intelligence I think it's a very interesting and very hot topic, technology in development, and I do have a lot of questions. Before we dive in, could you give us a background about yourself, about the project, please?
Sure. I am an entrepreneur for life. I started my entrepreneur journey when I was 16 years old. So I have always been driven by creativity. I always believe that every human is creative, but our creativity is kept by our power of execution. And now we have this incredible tool called artificial intelligence that can help us achieve anything that we can imagine. So I have always been fascinated by our capability of imagination. I have always been fascinated by things that I haven't thought of. So going back on how I started, being very, very young and naive that I can create anything that I can imagine. I created like thousands of applications, startups, websites, and so on. Started, as I said, when I was 16 years old with one of the first social networks in the Middle East. So I have always been surrounded by incredible developers. When I was 21 years old, I started my first investment fund. An interesting fact: the 10th employee of Google was one of the investors in that investment fund. I don't know if you know that. Romania has one of the most talented programmers in the world. Is that legend that the second most spoken language on Google is Romanian. So being surrounded by incredible developers, I did a lot of experiments in the artificial intelligence field. And humans started when I understood that synthetic media and generative artificial intelligence, it's so powerful. So I understood that you can create a synthetic video only by typing a text. So basically, if you were able to write an email, you can generate videos. Imagine that the film academy students will be able to create Hollywood grade productions just by writing a script. So I set up a team, and after 2 months, the company was created. We become one of the most hunted startups in the region, and having investment proposal from all the investors and the VCs from the region. So we started as a normal AI company backed by normal VCs, regular VCs, in this mission of creating the Amazon of AIs. In this mission, in creating the platform that allow everybody in a fair way to use artificial intelligence. But being so close in that period with the Elrond team, we created together some experiments, and we were trying to define solutions for the AI problems using blockchain. So in a natural way, from a normal company, we switched to the Web3 space. And I want to thank again the Elrond team, because they help us clear our path and our vision and make us understand that blockchain is the real solution for the AI problem.
So you didn't start then as a blockchain project, right? You started as a Web2 because I read on your website that we shouldn't compare Web2 VCs to Web3 VCs because it's not fair to Web2 ones. It's very funny. Now, before we go any further, let's discuss just a bit about AI technologies today, because I think they are in development for maybe more than a decade, but you know it better. What are the industries or maybe the areas where AI is the most beneficial, and in what state the AI is? And I will come up with another question because I have many.
So we strongly believe that in the future, every idea, every product, every company will have an AI component. So every industry will be disrupted by the artificial intelligent technologies. And that's because we as humans, we always wanted machines to solve our problems. And artificial intelligence is a promise that the machine could solve a problem currently addressed by humans. So if you know how to define a problem, it can be solved by artificial intelligence. And we always try to understand what intelligence means. And we started tens of years ago from expert systems But you need to define and write down conditions to make a decision, to statistical learning. So if I have seen that many times, I'm pretty sure that when I see it again, it would mean a similar thing, to system that adapts to novel inputs. And now we can see DALL-E that it's able to generate a landscape, images, text, having only text as an input. You can see a disruption in the media and the advertising industry with all the synthetic media, artificial intelligence, cloning voices, making the actors speak in any language, dubbing the movies in real time. In the marketing field, you can generate text, an infinite possibility of text. Even in coding, you can have AI that can help you code better and faster. We are seeing disruption in all of those industries, but we're always asking, what's so artificial about intelligence? And the question is the framework. So we have an accelerate pace in innovation, but we are going back to the AI problems. So we are living in a very fragmented market, very data sensitive, with no relationship between stakeholders. So on one side, we have this huge innovation, but on the other side, there is not yet a framework that can help us access AI technology and create AI technology in a fair way, but in the same time to accelerate the innovation pace.
Wow, that's interesting. I just understand that you talk about AI as an enhancement, as a tool for the humans. Let's say for the creativity, it is going and it is solving some problems, or helps us solving problems. I think this is a very big topic talked, that will AI will take jobs, will they replace humans in certain areas? But I always saw AI as the next level toolkit, let's say, to create something which we couldn't do to technology limitations. Am I understanding correctly what you explained here?
Yes, everybody's talking about this dystopian future, AI taking job from us, but we're seeing from other perspective, we're seeing that AI can help us become superhumans. And I experiment that on myself when our team was able to create my AI NFT with my voice speaking in Romanian. And the interesting part is that my AI NFT trained the Portuguese AI NFT, and now I'm able to speak in Portuguese. And when I heard myself for the first time speaking in Portuguese, for me, without any word or anything that my AI was saying, I had that feeling of that I am a superhuman. And we work every day to make sure that every human on the planet can experiment the same feeling that I had when I heard myself speaking for the first time in Portuguese. Of course, we are in the first phase of artificial intelligence. I'm sure that in 50 years, we will have artificial general intelligence. So the ability to solve any problem. For example, you can ask the AI to solve the global warming problem. So the AI has this possibility of helping us create anything, but we need to keep the humans in the loop.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add here that this is very interesting. And I think this is the second part of this topic regarding AI and humans. AI, from what I understood, it is creating data solutions based on the information you input, right? Based on your input, it will come up with some solutions to the problem. But we do need that human touch where, I don't know, our emotions or fears or social requirements, let's say, the world we live in and we live by is also implemented, and AI doesn't come up with, let's say, very rational but moral or ethically unacceptable solution. Is this something which is taken in consideration?
Exactly. In the first year of the company existence, we created a tool so powerful that we were scared. So being able to have only text as an input, we can generate an infinite number of videos in any language with a certain persona. Or we are able to enter in any Zoom call having somebody else's face. Actually, this is how we used to pitch our investors. So I entered in a Zoom call with a different persona, and everybody was pissed off because Sabin was late and not joining the call. So we have 10 representatives from a certain VC. And after a couple of minutes, I press a button and my face appears next to the synthetic one. And I had the most interesting reactions ever. Somebody just left the call immediately.
Really?
And it was interesting from our side because before starting our pitch, we demonstrate the proof of technology, we demonstrate how powerful is the technology, and we demonstrate that we need a perfect framework to accelerate the pace of the innovation, but in the same time, create the relationship and create the trust relationship between the creator of the technology, the data provider, and the one who is going to use it.
Well, that is very interesting and aggressive marketing, but I can see that working, to be honest. Just presenting in the first couple of minutes without them knowing that what you already did, and obviously if they didn't realize, then it means that it works, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we talked about the voices and what you are doing. I also know that you are generating voices, let's say, through tokens, if I understood it correctly. Could you talk about that a bit? What they are and what are the areas where people can use them or where you are planning to use them?
Okay, before of that, I would like to give some context. So humans is the blockchain of AI. So humans.ai is helping humans become superhumans. So speak in any language, make your ideas come to life. Basically, we were able to create this tool called AI that can help us create anything, but now we need to start building the framework. So that's why we are building the blockchain of AI. The first project that it's live on our DevNet, it's called tokens. So we were able to create 10,000 unique voices, 10,000 AI NFTs. And for the first time in the humanity history, you can own a new biological feature. So in your NFT wallet collection, you can find a Bored Ape, a CryptoPunk, but now you can have a new vocal, and you can use that AI NFT that it's unique, and only you will own that to speak in the metaverse or to speak with that language in this podcast. But what we are doing in the first phase of the project roadmap is using that NFT, you can give life to existing NFTs. And that's a real problem in the market, because if you're looking at the NFT space and you're comparing it with the movie industry, we're living now in the comic book era. So we were able to create hundreds of billions of pictures. We have Mickey Mouse, we have all the characters created, but it's time to bring them to life. And with tokens, with those AI NFTs, you can bring NFTs to life. And now your picture is more than a picture. It's able to say, happy birthday. It can pitch for yourself, or it can even imagine a cameo for NFTs. You know, that company Cameo that can allow you to receive personalized videos from celebrities. The new celebrities are the Bored Apes or the CryptoPunks. And I would like to pay to receive a happy birthday, to say happy birthday to my friend from a Bored Ape. So tokens, it's creating a revolution in the NFT space. And we would like to be the spark, and we would like to inspire other developers to stop creating other NFT projects and to start enhance the existing ones. And maybe we can add emotions in the future. Maybe we can add intelligence, and maybe we can add relationship, or maybe we can mix different NFTs together. So sky is the limit. And we would like for tokens to be the spark in the industry. And also they have interesting stories. So they are coming from a fantasy world, the tokens. They were born millions of years ago. Their planet explodes and they travel through space and reach Earth. There they find humans, and they are basically the missing link in humans' evolution. So the tokens, they come from the only planet in the universe able to speak, and they like humans so much, and they were curious what humans have to say, and they give humans the voices. And there are some ancient discoveries with Egyptians that are praying to tokens. So there are some round spaces, round forms. And now, because NFTs are evolving so fast, and because almost every human on the planet has or knows about NFTs, the tokens are interested in giving NFTs a life. That's the fantasy part of the project.
Very cool. You just gave me an idea. So from what you said regarding in the future giving intelligence, giving emotion, and let's say connecting the apes with tokens, is it possible in the next couple of years that, I don't know, if there is a meeting in the metaverse and I want to send my NFT, I just write a couple of topics, like I write a script that I want to talk about this and this and this, and I send my NFT to the meeting, and with the artificial intelligence, it will just create from the topics a full speech and just participate in that conference without me being there.
It will be more than that. Imagine that during this interview, your NFT will be present in a Google interview and negotiating a new job for you. And after we finish this interview, you'll receive a job offer and your NFT will say, okay, so we are starting by Monday. Believe me, this is the best thing that you need to do in your career. So we will be present in multiple places in the same time. But it's important to why the proof of human concept is important. We need to have a human behind every AI decision. So we have this tool that is so powerful, but we need to be the ones who are controlling the outputs of that technology.
And that is the part in your project, it's called Proof of Human, as you just mentioned. Could we expand on that a bit, how it looks like and what this means in a bit of a detail, how that will look in the future, the Proof of Human?
In simple words, if everybody is leaving Ethereum, so every user is leaving Ethereum, you'll still have the servers up and running. On our side, if every human is leaving, the system will collapse. As I said earlier, in the first year of our company existing, we created a couple of tools so powerful that we understood that from the first, we need to embed the system in our design system. So we need to embed proof of human as a consensus mechanism and to put the humans in front of this AI revolution. So we're saying that you can create anything that you can imagine, but maybe you don't want to create anything that you can imagine with your AI, with your voice, for example. So you need some mechanism to decide what needs to be created and what not. So in the future, now you have the proof of human. So that is the first principle that we're embedding in our system to make sure that it's a human being behind every AI decision. But in the next step will be to have a proof of Sabin. So to be sure that it's Sabin behind that AI decision.
Okay, yeah, very interesting. I also, for example, Elon Musk, he always says that AI has huge opportunities, right? But also big risks, because we don't know what is the ceiling of this technology, right? We have no idea how far this can be developed, and as far as we know, and as you just said, it can be infinite, and it can really leave the proof of humans as well. And you can just find yourself with 5 other Sabin who are, can we say, thinking by themselves, or they don't need the human input. So I'm thinking that in the future, and in the future I mean like maybe in a decade or maybe more, we will also see some kind of regulation or basic rules, laws, that if you want to deploy artificial intelligence in the metaverse, then you must have a checkbox that, okay, proof of human, proof of I don't know, identity, as you said, right? Can you see something like that in the future?
For sure, I see it somehow a little bit further. I believe that in the future, you as a medical doctor, you will not be able to make a surgery without a second opinion from an AI. Or I believe that this generation that we have right now and we're living right now, will be the last from our species to own a driver license. So I believe that we need to switch our perspective and to understand how AI can improve our lives and how it can help expand our creativity if we have the perfect framework in which we create and use. But speaking about regulatory and rules that governance can enforce, so we need a framework that is safe and fair, but in the same time to accelerate the pace of innovation. And if you are thinking about blockchain, and if you can replace the term blockchain with democratization, if you are saying the blockchain of AIs, you are saying democratization of the AIs, of creating and use of AI technology. So that's why we started with our 50 team members, PhD professors, incredible blockchain developers. It's very hard to create artificial intelligence, very hard to create blockchain technologies. Imagine how hard it is, mix them together. But we believe so hard in this vision, and we believe so hard if we manage to create the perfect blockchain framework for the technology, we will not even solve the problem that you are saying, but even we can use artificial intelligence even further. And in the future, I'm sure that we will use artificial intelligence, some use cases that we are even afraid today to think.
Yes, I agree. I agree completely. I mean, I think we can hear this more and more, freeing up our time. And now that you mentioned that maybe we will be the last generation to own a driver license, because in the future we won't need it, right? And we don't have to spend time driving. We can do anything else.
It will be forbidden.
Oh, okay. So you mean, yeah. So you mean that the AI will be able to drive it more effectively and more safe? Humans just won't need driver license, so you won't be able to have a driver license. Maybe on a racetrack, right? If you want to have some fun.
Like Elon Musk was saying, in the future, the guys who will own a car, it will be the guys who own a horse right now. So professionals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that because I'm coming from a more remote village, let's say, and I don't know. 15 years ago there were a lot of horses there, and nowadays none of them. So only there is one guy who goes to shows with his horses, and that is the only thing. So nobody uses horses for labor or anything else. Now that you mentioned Aaron team, how do you help each other? Let's say, could you give us some behind the curtain info about this partnership?
So we had on those times the common investor, and this is how I met Benjamin. I have a lot of respect from what the Aaron team was managed to accomplish so far. I believe that they demonstrate what's the potential of the Romanian ecosystem, and they demonstrate that you can build incredible things from this side of the world. And I believe that our mission and what we are doing is to demonstrate that it was not by chance. And they help us a lot to switch from a normal company, but more than that, they help us understand, as I said earlier, that blockchain is the perfect medium for AI. And it was a very natural evolution that our company did from the normal space, from the Web3 space. But in the same time, it was so painful and so hard to achieve because there are two different worlds. And what I'm always saying is that the technology, the things, the ecosystem that we did as an AI company, not other AI companies should do it again. So we have all the resources and all the, let's say, the fundamental technology for an AI company to switch from Web 2 to Web 3. And we're helping them doing that through our launchpad. It's called Scale. So it's human scale, launchpad with a mission, because through that, we help humans scale their potential. So through Humans Launchpad, we are helping AI Web2 companies, individual researchers, universities to switch to Web3, because every AI deserves his own economy, deserves his own token. If you're looking at an AI, it's a small or big economy. It's a small or big factory. You have different stakeholders. You have the data provider, you have the technology creator, the user, the developer that are building decentralized applications on top of that. And if you're thinking of OpenAI or DALL-E, or if you're thinking about an AI created by a friend of mine who is able to, if you're scanning a mole, it tells you if it's dangerous or not. That technology has the potential to save millions of lives per year. So that means that AI's economy can be bigger than Romania's economy. So we're helping AI companies to switch to the Web3 space. And because we're so popular in the region and we are a very, very few companies in the world who are in the both spaces, we receive a lot of requests and calls from universities that 2 years ago, it was impossible to believe that they will look to the Web3 space. And somehow we are able to create this bridge between the academic space to the crypto space. And it's a very hard bridge to create, but if you manage to do it, it's huge.
I totally agree with you. Now, I had couple of guests on the podcast. My last year, I met some projects, and I agree with you that I didn't see that this bridge happening in a few years, to be honest. I was thinking that we will need a generational change. And I'm very happy to see that these academics, the institutions, the Web3, I don't know, maybe we can call them a bit conservatives, because the regulation and everything is already set in stone and it's helping them. I do appreciate that they are opening up and they want to see progress, to advance and to adapt this new technology. So to every university, every official, everyone out there, I think kudos for them to taking the effort for that. And kudos to you too for helping them bridging this big gap, because it is also a generational gap. I think we can say that, right?
Yes, but they understood that blockchain is a solution. So if you are looking at what's happening in the AI space right now, it's very centralized. So the AI technology is very careful guarded technology by a few centralized entities. For example, OpenAI, which was bought by Microsoft, by the way. So they created a revolutionary algorithm, but it's centralized. And if you as a developer want to join, you cannot do it in a permissionless aspect. So imagine, rather than needing approval from OpenAI, you can access this amazing technology permissionless, of course, respecting the rules of the creator in an open environment. So the blockchain technologies combining with AI can spark collaboration through the ecosystem because it's permissionless and open. Also, it can be a very functional way of finance your technology and your AI. Imagine a Polka starter for AI. Imagine a pink sale for AIs. And we're receiving a huge interest from VCs. So we have more than 20 VCs that are partners in our launchpad, and also interest from existing launchpads that are interested in joining this launchpad because they understood that if we manage to switch all the AIs from Web 2 to Web 3, it's a huge opportunity, not necessarily in a financial way of seeing things, but more in a what things can we achieve if we can have access in a fair way to this incredible technology.
That's very interesting that you said. So your launchpad is not only for new projects, is also for traditional companies to switch to Web3. How big effort it is for a Web2 company to switch to Web3 on your launchpad? Let's say, do you need to present them the benefits, or they already come to you as, hey, we want to do this, how can you help us to achieve it? How this process goes, if we can know some information about that?
Coming from the normal technology space, I was reading all the books like 4 Steps to Epiphany, Lean Startups, and so on. And the first principle was to talk first with your visionary clients. So talk with the client that they already envisioned your solution. And as I said, we're receiving a lot of calls from incredible AI technologies company startups that they want to join the space already. So we don't have to explain them why to join the space. What we do explain them is that how hard it is to switch from AI, from Web 2 to Web 3, like we did. And if you manage to do it, it's a huge defocus. So instead of focusing on developing and improving that AI technology, you need to focus on creating the ecosystem. The legal structure, it's very important. Creating the blockchain, the wallet, the staking programs, issuing the token, creating the NFT, the relationship and everything. And when we say that we can offer this fundamental solution for their startup, it's a clear decision from their side.
Interesting. Thank you for explaining this. Now, I'm going to go forward. I have only one more question. I could talk about this all day long, but I don't want to keep you too much. You also have the Heart token for your project. What can we know about this, in what state it is, and what are the plans with it?
So Heart is the fuel for AIs. In this AI world that we are creating, the Heart token is the currency for this world. It's the native token for our ecosystem. And one of the primary function is to facilitate the staking. And if you are staking Heart, you can perform different actions like minting NFTs, govern AIs, train AIs, adding algorithms. An example that we are using, imagine that with our project tokens, you can mix an AI NFT, a voice, with an existing NFT, a board date, and you can create an AI NFT an NFT that is able to speak. So you have the car, but you don't have the fuel. You have the Tesla, but you don't have the electricity. So Heart is the token, the utility token that powers the whole ecosystem.
Okay, thank you very much. Any upcoming announcements to which we should look out for in the near future, let's say in a couple of weeks, months, which you would like to highlight to the community?
We are celebrating on 21 September a year from our private sale and from our opening to the community, and how we are saying the new humans, the humans.ai. We will create an extraordinary event with more than 400 people, specialists in NFT, crypto, business space, academia, and so on. And there we'll have a lot of announcements regarding the Launchpad. We will announce the first project that will join the Launchpad. We have a lot of partnerships. We have partnerships with top 30 CoinMarketCap project that they understood that we can also use their technology to scale and to go to mainstream the AI NFTs. Imagine that in the last 6 months, we did a lot of efforts and we received a lot of interest from partners, from universities, regular business companies. And we are going to start to announce those achievements after the 21st of September.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I would like to thank you for being here, for taking the time. Everyone, you can find all the links to Humans AI Twitter and website in the description of this podcast. Thank you again, Sabin, for being here. And looking forward to our next chat in maybe a couple of months.
Thank you so much. Can't wait, and have a nice day.